surveys the four quarters all around, and roars his lion's roar 3 times. Then he sets out in search of game. When the lion, the king of beasts, roars, whatever animals hear the sound are for the most part filled with fear, a sense of urgency and terror. Those who live in holes enter the holes. Those who live in the water enter the water. Those who live in the woods enter the woods. And the birds fly up into the air. Even those royal bull elephants, bound by strong thongs in the villages, towns, and capital cities, burst and break their bonds asunder. Frightened, they urinate and defecate and flee here and there. So powerful, monks, is the lion, the king of beasts among the animals, so majestic and mighty. So too, monks, when the Tathagata arises in the world, an Arahant, Sammasambuddha, accomplished in true knowledge and conduct, fortunate, knower of the world, unsurpassed leader of persons to be tamed, teacher of devas and humans, the enlightened one, the blessed one. He teaches the Dhamma thus: such is form, such its origin, such its passing away. Similarly, such is feeling, perception, volition, their origin and their passing away, and consciousness too. Then monks, when those devas who are long-lived, beautiful, abounding in happiness, dwelling for a long time in lofty palaces, hear the Tathagata's teaching of the Dhamma, they are for the most part filled with fear, a sense of urgency and terror, saying, "It seems, sir, that we are impermanent, though we thought ourselves permanent. It seems, sir, that we are unstable, though we thought ourselves stable. It seems, sir, that we are non-eternal, though we thought ourselves eternal. It seems, sir, that we are impermanent, unstable, non-eternal, included within identity." So powerful, monks, is the Tathagata over this world together with its devas, so majestic and mighty. This is what the Blessed One said. Having said this, the Fortunate One, the teacher, further said, when the Buddha, through direct knowledge, sets in motion the wheel of Dhamma, the peerless teacher in this world, with its devas, makes this known: the cessation of identity and the origin of identity, also the Noble Eightfold Path that leads to suffering's appeasement. Then those devas with long lifespans, beautiful, ablaze with glory, are struck with fear, filled with terror, like beasts who hear the lion's roar. We have not transcended identity. It seems we are impermanent. So they say, having heard the utterance of the Arahant, the released, stable one. That's the end of the sutta. So here the Buddha is saying, just like the lion, when the lion roars its roar, all the animals panic, including even the royal bull elephants, which are supposed to be so brave and can fight in the wars and all that, can withstand arrows and blows and all that. But when they hear the sound of the lion, they panic and they so frightened that they urinate and defecate and run here and there. In the same way, the Buddha says that when the Buddha arises in the world and similarly roars his lion's roar, that means sets forth the Dhamma, teaches the Dhamma, even those powerful devas and devis who live for a long time, when they hear the Dhamma, because they have psychic power, they can know when they contemplate what the Buddha is teaching, then they realize suddenly that they are not eternal, that they are not immortal. They thought they will never die because their life is so long, millions and millions of years. And suddenly they realize that they have to die. And they know when they die, there are woeful plains of rebirth awaiting them. So they get very frightened, they panic. So powerful is the Buddha. The next sutta, 22.79, at Savatthi, the Buddha said, "Monks, Those ascetics and Brahmins who recollect their manifold past abodes, that means past lives, all recollect the five aggregates of clinging, or a certain one among them. What five? When recollecting thus, monks, I had such a body in the past. It was just body that one recollects. When recollecting, I had such a feeling in the past. It is just feeling that one recollects. When recollecting, I had such a perception in the past. It is just perception that one recollects. When recollecting, I had such volitions in the past. It is just volitions that one recollects. When recollecting, I had such consciousness in the past. It was just consciousness that one recollects. Let's stop here for a moment. So here, the Buddha says, the ascetics who are able to see their past lives, those who have psychic power, when they look into their past lives, when they refer to themselves in the past life, they always to refer to themselves as that body, that feeling, that perception, volition and consciousness. So they always refer to the five aggregates as themselves. And why, monks, do you call it body? It is affected. Here it says, why do you call it form? And it says, it is deformed, monks. Therefore it is called form. Deformed by what? Deformed by cold, deformed by heat, deformed by hunger, deformed by thirst, deformed by contact with flies, mosquitoes, wind, sun and serpents. It is deformed, monks, therefore it is called form. Let's stop here for a moment. The Pali word for form or body is rupa. And here it says it is deformed or affected, it's rupati. So body is so called because it is affected by the environment, can be changed by the environment. That's why it's called body. But another way of defining body is that which the seeing consciousness is aware of. It is the body, is the object of the eye organ, the external object of the eye organ. What the eye consciousness is aware of is body or form. And why, monks, do you call it feeling? It feels, monks, therefore it is called feeling. And what does it feel? It feels pleasure, it feels pain, it feels neither pain nor pleasure. It feels, monks, therefore it is called feeling, Vedana. And why, monks, do you call it perception? Sanya. It perceives, monks, therefore it is called perception. And what does it perceive? It perceives blue, it perceives yellow, it perceives red, it perceives white. It perceives, monks, therefore it is called perception. Stop here for a moment. This word perception, sanya, it means perception means we have a certain conception. For example, we think the color is blue or yellow or red. But somebody else who might be colorblind would perceive it differently. So, for example, like you perceive that this lady is beautiful or that man is handsome, but somebody else may have a different opinion. But the Chinese translation is xiang. Xiang is more of thought, right? So it's not a very good translation. So because here it says it perceives blue, yellow, red, white. So you can understand it is a perception rather than a thought. And why, monks, do you call them volition? Or conditioners. They condition the condition, monks, therefore they are called volition or conditioners. This word, they condition the condition, is sankatang abhisankaronti. Sankata is the condition. Everybody agrees that the word sankata is condition. This abhisankaroti is to condition the condition. You see why I say so? And what is the condition that they condition? They condition form as form. They condition form as form. They condition feeling as feeling. They condition perception as perception. They condition volition as volition. They condition consciousness as consciousness. They condition the conditioned monks. Therefore, they are called conditioners. Now, this word sankhara, here they translate as volitional formations, and which I generally translate as volition. This word sankhara, in the 5 aggregates, sankhara always means volition, our free will. Okay? But this term as a general meaning, here they talk about the general meaning, is that it is a conditioner because it conditions other things. So like volition is also a conditioner because when we use our willpower, we condition something, right? You use your mind to do what you want, to change whatever you want, or to. So the mind is a form of conditioner. The volition is a form of conditioner. But I always remember in the 5 aggregates, the word sankhara refers specifically to volition, not like here. Here they are talking about a general conditioner. And why monks do you call it consciousness? It cognizes monks, therefore it is called consciousness. And what does it cognize? It cognizes sour, it cognizes bitter, it cognizes pungent, it cognizes sweet, it cognizes sharp, it cognizes mild, it cognizes salty, it cognizes bland, it cognizes monks, therefore it is called consciousness. Well, this one I think you can understand. Therein monks, the learned noble disciple reflects thus: I am now being devoured by body. In the past too I was devoured by body in the very same way that I am now being devoured by present body. If I were to seek delight in future body, then in the future too I shall be devoured by body in the very same way that I am now being devoured by present body. Having reflected thus, he becomes indifferent towards past body. He does not seek delight in future body, and he is practicing for revulsion towards present body, for its fading away and cessation. Let's stop here for a moment. Now here he says, I am being devoured by form, or devoured by body. What it means, you are being eaten, you are being scourged, you are being irked, you are being vexed, you are being annoyed by body. So body gives you a lot of suffering. That's why he says, I am being devoured by body, eaten up by body, eaten here and there. So what he's trying to mean is body is a source of suffering. Similarly, he reflects, I am being devoured by feeling, by perception, volition and consciousness. In the past too, I was devoured by these aggregates in the very same way that I am now being devoured by present aggregates. If I were to seek delight in future aggregates, then in the future too I shall be devoured by the aggregates in the very same way that I am being devoured by present aggregates. Having reflected thus, he becomes indifferent towards past aggregates. He does not seek delight in the future aggregates, and he is practicing for revulsion towards the present 5 aggregates, for the fading away and cessation. Stop here for a moment. So you see, remember that day we read that if a person is practicing for revulsion towards the 5 aggregates, he is a learner. He's a Aryan disciple. He understands the Dhamma that we should practice for revulsion of the aggregates. What do you think, monks? Is body permanent or impermanent? Similarly, they say impermanent. And what is impermanent? Suffering or source of happiness? And they say it's a source of suffering. And then, what is impermanent? Suffering, subject to change. Is it fit to be regarded as this is mine, this I am, this myself? And they say no, verbal sir. So the Buddha goes through the same process of asking each one of the aggregates, and they answer in the same way. Then the Buddha says, therefore,